we can see a window, a welcome window. And to start Playground, click on Get Started with the Playground icon. Playground is an environment where you can test your source code, which complies and performs in real time. So we choose a template we want. And the first option is a blank playground. So we click on it and then we click next. And we need to save it somewhere. So we can choose desktop and click create. At first we see a playground template. In the upper part we can see what is the current state of the playground. On the right we can see editor options. We can have a live view in case we do graphic interface. We are able to see how it is done, but we don't need it now. There are also some comparisons, but we don't need it also. So I will explain what are the three last windows. And the first one shows us the tree where can be more than one file. The second one is a button panel where we can see implementations effects. Third one is display information about playground like identity, type and settings. So in this case we will only use the button panel. We can start with cleaning our working screen, and we will need a way to store our data, and we can do it using variables. So we define the variable by entering the keyword var. Every time when you make a variable, you have to start with the var word, and then we give the name of the variable. It is important not to use any spaces in between, and it can't start with a number. So after the name, we define the type of the variable. And SWIFT supports the following basic types. Int, and this is used for whole numbers. Double, to represent floating numbers. Bool, it represents a Boolean value which is either true or false. And string, this is an ordered collection of characters which are words. So after a colon, we define the type of a variable. We choose type int. We also need to define its value. So we put an equal sign. and the value, let's say 1. So now I will show you examples of making variables of different types. Another variable would be double. So we write var, then a name, after a name, colon, and the word double, equal sign, and value, let's say 5.5. So to define the variable, we enter the keyword var, and every time when you make a variable, you have to start with the var word. Then we type the name, let's say my name, and it is important not to use any spaces in between, and it can't start with a number. So after the name, we have to write the type of the variable. So each variable has a specific type, which determines the size and layout of the variable's memory, the range of values that can be stored within that memory, and the set of operations that can be applied to the variable. SWIFT supports the following basic types. Int, this is used for whole numbers. Double, to represent floating numbers. Bool, it represents a Boolean value, which is either true or false. And string, this is an order collection of characters, which are words. So after a colon, we write a type. In this case, it would be string. We start, we write the equal sign, and after the sign we write the value. And in case of string variables, we write it in inverted commas. And in this case, it would be name John. Sometimes we want to have a data which is constant. For example, P. We start with the keyword. The keyword in this case would be let. Then we write name, and after the name a colon, and we write a type. In this case it would be double. After the equal sign we write the value. It's 3.14, and this is how we define a constant. In some cases we can omit names of a type of a variable when a compilator is able to guess the type by its value. For example, John is a string type because it's a word, and 3.14 is a double type because it is a floating number. So it is used to shorten the code. Now I will talk about loops. Loops let you describe repetitive processes. Loop can be repeated if a condition is met. This is an example. If your name is John, the program will write, "Hello, John." In case we have a different name, it will write, "I expected John." So we define the variable. Now let's do it differently. We start with the keyword if. After if, we give a condition. So the variables name would be my name. Now we write a double equal sign and word John in inverted commas. A double equal operator compares the values of variables. Single equal sign is the assignment operator. It is a comment. We open curly brackets and write a comment print. So after the comment print, we write "Hello, John," which is in brackets again and in inverted commas. And after we write word else, the word else, this will be the case when there is no John name. So a comment which will happen when a variable is not John. And we write comment print, and it will be "I've expected John." As we can see in the bottom, we have "Hello, John." So that's what happened when the condition is met. So now we will check what happens if the value of my name variable is changed, let's say into Andrew. And as we can see, we see the second comment, "I've expected John," because the condition wasn't met. If we want to expand the loop, we use additional comment if, which we place right after comment else. Then we write the condition we want. For example, checking if my name is Andrew. And if that is true, there will be an inscription, "Hello, Andrew." We can write many blocks like that, one after another. All you have to do is write comment else, which operates all the other options. Another loop is loop for. So we start with the keyword for. And after the word for, we write name of the variable where a value will be given. For example, number. And we set a range of numbers. After the name, write word in and the range from 1 to 10. 1, 3 dots, 10. For each of those numbers, a block of code will be done. And in case we don't want 10 to be in, we can put a strict inequality symbol. Open curly brackets to write instructions, which we want to be done a number of times. In this case, we use print command and word liczba to write the value of a variable. We have to combine a string constant with the value of variable. So inside the value of string, we add backslash and round brackets. Inside the brackets, write the name of our variable, which is a number, and this way to the contents of the string, a value of a variable will be added. And as you can see in the bottom panel, there are written values of those variables. And if we delete the strict inequality symbol, number 10 also appears. Sometimes we want to save more data when we want to group linked data. For example, a group of names of a course participants. So we can do it using collections. It is a tool for string values. One of the main types of collections is array. I will show you how to make it. So write the keyword var and name of its variable. Then we write a type. So the type will be string. And after the equal sign, we write the value, which is John, Andrew, Michael. We separate the words with commas. Now we define a loop. So write for, then name of a variable, for example, name, then a word in, and name of the array. For each element of this, an instruction will be executed. So we write the word, the comment print and hello, followed by the name, which actually is the name of the array. So as we can see in the bottom panel, there are 3 hellos. Hello John, hello Andrew, hello Michael. In case of repetition of certain instructions, we can group the name. We can group and name them. So it is called function. Functions are self-contained chunks of code that perform a specific task. To define a function, we start with the keyword func, and then we can name it. So again, to define a function, we start with the keyword func, and then we name it, for example, f. Our parameter will be x, which is a double type. And next, write a return arrow. It's a hyphen followed by a right angle bracket, which is followed by the name of double type to return. So inside the chunk, we will have a group of instructions we want to execute. Write word return and name x plus 5. So if we want to induce this function, we write f and name of the variable followed by its value. Let's say 9. Value of this induction is 14, because 9 plus 5 is 14. So if we change the value, for example 4, then the value is 9. So we can do another example. If we write the keyword func and the name my function, open brackets, and first parameter would be int type, and the second parameter would be string type. types don't have to be the same. So it can be only a sequence of instructions. Functions are not required to define a return type. So there is a version of function which prints value of first parameter. Another thing is enumeration. Enumeration defines a common type for a group of related values and enables you to work with those values in a type-safe way within your code. So if you want to start, we can write the keyword enum and name, in this case traffic light. Now we define the values. Let's say case red, case yellow, case green. And now we need to define the variable traffic light and choose only one option. So it is possible to omit the type of the variable traffic light state, but we can actually also leave it. We can use it. We can leave just dot and the name of this case. In this case, it would be green. If you want if we want more complicated structures, we can use classes. A class is like a box that stores variables and provides us with a set of functions to manage those variables. So we write the keyword class and name it, for example, point. Now we can define variables in the class. So another keyword that we use is var. Yes, so we define the variables by writing var, and then we name the variable, let's say x, and we write the type of it double. And the second variable would be y. So there is another process that I would like to show you. if we write the keyword in it and the list of parameters, and names of parameters don't have to be the same. If we want the property to refer to the current instance within its own method, we use the keyword self, and after a dot write the name x and value x, and do the same for the second variable y. And now we can see that the error statement has disappeared. We can also add functions to a class. So we start with the keyword func and name the variable move, because this function will move our point. So we write name of the variable self dot x equal sign and name again plus the value we want to add. Or we can use a shortcut and use sign plus and equal, which add to our variable value, which is on the right. So I will change the first one so it will be written in the same way. And this is a definition of a simple class.